Whenever you feel lost, you feel like you're not good enough, you're not being the best version of yourself, you've done something wrong, or you've hurt someone close to you, and you feel like you don't know what to do next, you're lost, you're struggling to see the right path to go down. Return to philosophy. Philosophy is a gift, it's a guiding light that we've been given by people of the past, mainly dead people that have lived life before us. They've lived a full life and experienced things that we have yet to experience. And we can use that because it's accessible now. We can get it from books, we can get it on the internet, we can get it from social media, etc. And that's accessible to us. We can literally have secondhand experiences of life and learn from what they done wrong or what they done right. It's a structure. It gives you structure, and we can use that to kind of come back to our guiding principle. We can use it to reset and remember the values that we want to follow in life, like being a kind person, showing gratitude, being respectful to others, being respectful to yourself. And I used to do this a couple of years ago. I don't do it anymore, but I should do it. I used to have these 10 stoic quotes on my wall that I wrote down on a whiteboard and I stuck on my wall. And every morning I would wake up and I would read it out to myself every morning. I can't remember all of them now. I think one of them was speak to the dead. Um Another one was the bees don't it's like the bees don't complain when they wake up and have to work. So why as humans should we stay in bed when we have work to do? Something like that. Um, Another one was we suffer more in imagination than in reality. That's very true. We definitely do. We tend to overestimate how bad things are, and most of our suffering comes from our own mind. It comes from our opinion of what happened. The thing that happened externally cannot affect us unless we choose to let it affect us. And that's the truth. But yeah, going back to my point, return to philosophy. It's so useful. It brings you back to the right path, and it allows you to see your life from a third point of view, third person. And when we see our life from that point of view, we're not so stuck in that like mind trap. You know, when it's like life feels really tough and you're going through a hard time and it feels like everything that could go wrong is going wrong. And when you're in that state, you cannot be rational about life. Your emotions are flaring up and you just want either an escape or rest or something like that. You can turn to alcohol, you can turn to drugs, things like that, but you can return to philosophy and you can learn from it and make yourself better and learn from the mistakes that you made in your own life and see a different perspective of those mistakes or those experiences. I think we're all struggling and trying to figure out life at the same time. No one really has it figured out. Even the people in the past that wrote these philosophy books, they still didn't have it figured out. We're all kind of, it's the blind leading the blind, but they do have invaluable experience that we could only get through living our own life if we didn't have philosophy. So why not tap into that power? Because it's there for the taking. I've learned a lot from philosophy, and you can gain wisdom beyond your years. But I'm not saying that philosophy is the only thing that helps you to learn in life. You know, you've got to experience these things yourself. You've got to go out and fail. Because when you fail, you learn the most. You can read like 10, 15 philosophy books and then only use like one or two like thoughts or viewpoints in your life. You can only actually take in a few of those books, because sometimes we read just to say that we've read it. I do that too. And it's hard to actually act out on these things all the time. But when you have a true experience where you make a mistake, you hurt someone close to you, then you learn from it and you know that you won't do it again, because you've had that real life experience. But philosophy can be that backbone. Going back to that point, return to philosophy. I was going through a weird time when I was around 16. I just started to gain some confidence, and I was feeling really, really like confident, I guess. And that was a good thing, but I was overconfident. I was really cocky. And I was slowly hurting people around me because I wasn't thinking about what I was saying. I was just doing whatever felt good or pleasurable for me in that moment. And I realized that I needed to change, because you can't just live like that. You can't just live for pleasure. Because in the end, it's not true contentness. There's a difference between being joyful. Sorry, there's a difference between being happy and being content with your life. You can be happy in the moment, have some fun, and then realize that you're not actually content with your life once that high drops. It's better to be content for a long period of time and be grateful for what you have. But yeah, I was in that phase of my life where I was overconfident, and a lot of people probably go through this around that age. But reading philosophy and listening to the Daily Stoic podcast, that really helped me. Like, the Daily Stoic podcast was so good. Yeah, it was great. Although it's got loads of ads now, which they kind of put me off of it. But just listening to that like one time every morning, getting up early just to like listen to that, it was great. It kind of humbled me. It made me realize that life is about more than, just having fun. And I actually matured and started to respect the people around me, respect myself, and develop some deeper connections. They weren't just like shallow connections that, when you're just friends with people to be friends with people, or just to like do a certain activity and have fun, which, don't get me wrong, like, there's nothing wrong with only being friends with someone just to do like a certain activity, like a sport or go drinking or something. But it's really important to have those deeper connections where you can just like exist with someone, just exist with that friend, just be in the same space and just have a nice time. Yeah, but I kind of went off on a tangent. Yeah, that's how it helped me. So if you feel lost, just return to philosophy. And yeah, if you enjoyed this video or related in any way, just comment your thoughts, comment your own experience with philosophy, how you got into it or when you got into it. And yeah, have a nice day.